Well, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Chin here again today from Nothing But Facts. Hope you guys are doing well. I want to talk about the top 10 defenses in college football. No particular order here. I don't, I think this is a pretty good list. It's a pretty solid list, but I think there are some teams that I would definitely have swapped in different orders or whatever the case may be. But hey, let's just jump into it. Let's talk about some of the key players into these defenses in college football that we're going to hear about, we're going to be told about this year. They're going to dominate. Let's talk about those key players. Number one on this list is Oklahoma. And I want to talk about one of my favorite linebackers in the country, and that's Kip Lewis. This guy is a dog. He's all over the field. When you watched him in the Alabama game, when you watched him in the Auburn game, when you watched him in the Tennessee game, Kip Lewis makes plays, and I think this is one of the better linebackers in the country. You saw what Brent Venables asked of him to do, whether it's rush the passer, whether it's go and cover the tight end. Kip Lewis, a very versatile defender. Really excited to see him in this, I want to say, do it all year. This is a big year for Oklahoma. And they have their national championship aspirations. They have SEC championship aspirations. All of that is going to be made possible by this defense. But Kip Lewis, I think this guy is a real problem. Really excited to see his game. Number two, we have Notre Dame. And on this Notre Dame list, I want to talk about Leonard Moore. And I think Leonard Moore is the best corner in college football. I think this is the best corner in college football, the most complete corner, a shutdown corner. This is a guy who's going to play in the NFL, and he's going to take off. He's going to take out your number one receiver. This Notre Dame secondary is really good. It's not just Leonard Moore, but Adon Schuler, my guy from Irvington High School. Shout out Jersey in the building. But Leonard Moore, Adon Schuler in the backfield. He's a reason why Notre Dame is going to be a top defense, why they're going to be competing for one of those 12 spots in the college football playoff. So excited to see Leonard Moore. You see the numbers there. 31 tackles, a forced fumble, 5 interceptions, and 7 passes defended. This guy is a real deal. He's the PTP, a primetime player. Excited to see how Marcus Freeman, they're going to ask Leonard Moore, Chris Ash, the defensive coordinator at Notre Dame. They're going to ask him to be their cornerback one. Love Leonard Moore. Going to see how he stacks up in 2026. Number 3, we have Texas. And I mean, it's pretty simple. We're talking about Colin Simmons, okay? Colin Simmons was an absolute dog last year with Texas. My goodness, with Texas, 12 sacks, 43 tackles, 3 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, 2 passes defended. You talk about defensive end. There has not been a player in college football in his first 2 years who has had more sacks than Colin Simmons. Okay, that's the type of player he is. If you don't know it now. Will Muschamp is now the defensive coordinator at Texas. You talk about an attitude adjustment, a psychological adjustment. I think that's a perfect fit. This is a Texas team that 100% has their eyes set on a national championship, on an SEC championship. And if that defense is going to be really good, Colin Simmons is definitely going to have to be one of those PTPs on that side of the ball. Oregon, I think there was a couple of ways I could have went. I could have went Coy Parrish. I could have went Amari Washington. I could have went Tweet Odie. But I really like Mateo Uiagalelei. I think this is a really good edge player, big, strong defender. He's great against the run, could go past you with speed. He knows how to, convert the speed to power, the power to speed. This is a versatile defensive end. And again, if Oregon is going to be in that Big Ten conversation and that national championship picture, number 10 has got to play big. And he has over the last 2 years. I think 2024 was his breakout year, 10.5 sacks. He was double teamed more last year. But hey, if you're the best player, you're going to be double teamed. They're going to chip you. They're going to do things to get you out of your game. But I really like Mateo Uiagalelei. I talked about this Oregon defensive line. I think this defensive line at Oregon is what separates them from all the other years that we've known about, Oregon football and them competing. Like, this D line is legit. It's for real. Excited to see Mateo take that next step in 2026. Moving on to number 5, we have the Georgia Bulldogs, and I could have went a couple of ways, but I really like KJ Bolden. I think this guy is one of the best, if not the best, one of the best top 5 safeties in the SEC. You see the numbers there: 76 tackles, 5 passes defended, 2 interceptions. Like, he's a dog. Okay, he's a dog. You put him, he's in that Malachi Starks category. This guy is so good for what Glenn Schumann, the Georgia defensive coordinator, asks him to do. KJ Bolden does it. And again, this is a Georgia defense that has always been good. They've been good since Kirby Smart has gotten there. What do they have to do this year to get back into that Final Four picture? They haven't been in the Final Four for some time. If Georgia has any shot at getting to the Final Four, KJ Bolden definitely has to step up, and I'm really excited to see how he faces in 2026. Moving on to Miami. Could have won a couple of ways there, but I really like Ahmad Moten. This guy was part of that really great defensive line last year at Miami. Talk about Ruben Bain, Akeem Mesidor, and Ahmad Moten's name was in that conversation as one of the most dominant defensive lines in the country. Jason Taylor, former New York Jet great, former Dolphins great, former whatever great you want to say. He's the defensive line coach at Miami, and he has gotten he's gotten the most out of the defensive line at Miami. One of their strongest groups, I would say, last year. Corey Heatherman has done an outstanding job with this defense at Miami. Ahmad Moten Sr. is a big reason as to why, if Miami is competing in that ACC championship, if they're going to go on the road and beat Notre Dame, they're going to win the ACC. If they're going to get far in the playoffs, Ahmad Moten Sr., he's going to have a big year for the Hurricanes. Moving on to Texas Tech at number 7. I want to talk about their transfer player, Adam Trick. Comes over from Miami of Ohio. And, man, I talked about Texas Tech. If you don't know the name Adam Trick, you got to go put the tape on. This guy is a problem. I watched him in the MAC games last year. He's just a disruptor. He's nasty. And Sheil Wood, who is the Texas Tech defensive coordinator, talk about getting the most out of guys. Talk about Romello Height. Talk about David Bailey. He's going to get the most out of Adam Trick. Really excited to see this guy come to the Big 12, essentially be the number 1 pass rusher on that team. Texas Tech has depth at that defensive line, but I think we're going to hear this guy, Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. He is going to be the real deal. Comes over, like I said, from Miami of Ohio. Really excited to see Adam Trick in action. Next, we have Indiana, and I think I had to go 2 ways here. I had to go with Mario Landino, and I had to go with Tariq Tucker. These guys are going to – it's going to be tough sledding trying to run the ball inside on Indiana. These 2 guys, whether it's Landino, whether it's Tariq Tucker, these are some of the best interior defensive linemen in college football. They are, Tariq Tucker he's built low to the ground. He can take on those double teams. You talk about Landino, 6'4", 288. He can split those double teams. He can get up fields. You see the numbers there, 5 sacks. You saw the numbers there with Tariq Tucker, 6 sacks. So these guys can get after the quarterback, something they're going to have to do, right? When they're going against Ohio State, when they're going against Oregon, when they're going against Michigan, when they're going against Washington. Tariq Tucker, Mario Landino, they're going to have to step up and make plays if this Indiana defense is going to be a top 10 defense in college football. I want to go now to LSU, and I want to talk about Whit Weeks. He was hurt last year, but you talk about the production this guy has had. You look back at that 2024 year, 120 tackles. This guy's a sideline-to-sideline machine. He also, I just saw today, he's now going to wear the number 7. It's an honorary number there down there at LSU. But you talk about, Blake Baker, who was the LSU defensive coordinator. They paid a lot of money to get Blake Baker from Missouri, and he's done a good job so far. Last year wasn't his best work, but I think this year with Lane Kiffin and the pieces they got in the puzzle, you add a guy like Whit Weeks inside. This guy's a really good linebacker. Excited to see Whit Weeks. Hopefully he can stay healthy this year, because if he could stay healthy, man, LSU is going to be a really good team in 2026. And we have last here, Ohio State. I want to talk about Kenyatta Jackson. This is a guy I think is in for a big year in 2026. He needs to step up. And this not a call out to him. This is just saying what it is. If Ohio State wants to be in the final equation, get to the Big Ten championship, they want to get far in the college football playoff, Kenyatta Jackson, this guy has to step up. He has all the abilities, all the intangibles, all the tools to be a dominant defensive end. The numbers don't wow you, but again, I think if Ohio State, they lost a lot of names, right? Caden Curry gone. Caleb Downs is gone. Davis Igmanosu is gone. Like that like Caden McDonald is gone. My goodness. Right? Kenyatta Jackson, he needs to step up. He needs to have a big year in this Matt Patricia defense if Ohio State has any chance at winning the Big Ten and is succeeding in the playoffs. And I want to talk about my honorable mention. I see Alabama, I see A&M, I see Iowa, but I'm going to go with Alabama. I think Alabama deserves to be in this top 10 list. And a big reason why is because, in my opinion, this is the best safety tandem in college football. Simply put, you have Keon Sabb and you have Bray Hubbard. These guys are ball hawks. Okay, I think Bray Hubbard was an All-American last year. So this defense, it's going to be some fresh faces. But Kane Womack, he has to be excited to have guys that can direct the defense from that standpoint. You have a guy like Bray Hubbard. You see the numbers there: 74 tackles, 3 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions, 8 passes defended. The same thing with Keon Sabb. 52 tackles, interception, 3 passes defended. And I think he missed some time too last year. But in any case, this is a really good secondary, and I'm excited to see in 2026. Hey, Kane Womack, right? He was talked about as being one of the better defensive coordinators last year in college football. He has some new talent coming into Tuscaloosa. This year, I think if a lot of the pieces that he has now fits his defensive identity, fits what he wants to do on defense. And I'm excited to see this Alabama defense take that next step and hopefully getting to the SEC championship, hopefully advancing in the college football playoffs, but we'll see what happens. But I think this is a solid list. These are the top 10 defenses in college football, and some names that that are identified with this defense, names you're going to hear about all season long. Keep liking, keep commenting, keep sharing. Love you guys. God bless. Peace.